most important seminars that I'll be doing in 30 years of ministry. I've been in ministry for 30 years and I've had the privilege of teaching on various subjects over the years. There are some subjects that I've taught on that you get to use, once in a while. You don't get to use or put into practice what is taught on a weekly basis. Sometimes it's, once a month, even once a year. But there are some subjects that actually really affect you. They affect the core of your life. It affects your day-to-day living. And this subject that I'm going to be doing a seminar on is one of such. And that's why I said it's one of the most important seminar in 30 years of ministry. Not too many seminars or subject matter are as important as this one, winning with people. In other words, your relationship with people, your dealings with people, not too many subject matter are as important. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I said that. The reason why I said that is that your dealings with people, your interactions with people, your connection with people, whatever you do with people, affect you on a daily basis. It affects our everyday life. For example, think about it. If you live in a home and you live with other people, then there will be a need for you to interact with those other people. If you are married and you have to interact with your spouse, right? If you have children, you have to interact with your children. So in the household, there is a need to know how to interact in a healthy, in a positive way if you are going to enjoy peace and if there's going to be growth in that household. Then take it further. When you go on the road, right, whether you travel by train, you travel by bus, or even by car, believe it or not, there will still be people along the way. Whether it's in, talking to a conductor, possibly talking with a fellow rider, or even as a driver, interacting with some other drivers on the road. Remember road rage, right? There's also a need to know how to interact properly with people. Now, when you get to your destination, you leave your home, you get on the road, maybe you go to school, you have to interact. You have your professors that you have to interact with. You have other fellow students that you have to interact with. So there has to be some sort of interaction. And knowing how to connect and interact properly in a healthy way will help a long way in being able to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in the school environment. Well, maybe you don't go to school, you go to work. You also need to interact with people. You may have a supervisor, a boss over you, or you may be the boss over some people. Well, either way, knowing how to interact properly and relate properly with those people will help a long way. And so when you really begin to look at it, when we talk about the issue of interacting with people, it affects our daily life. When you leave work or you leave school, you may decide you want to go for shopping, whether for fun stuff or maybe for the things you really need at home, some food items or some other items you may need in your household. Well, you're going to have to interact with the cashier, unless of course you're paying by yourself. But even in that too, there's some security guard that you still have to interact with more than likely. Maybe you don't know where the product is and you still have to ask one of the workers there, so there's some sort of interaction going on. And then at checkout area, you also need to, if you're not paying through one of those kind of things, then you need to interact with the cashier. And it's not everywhere that you can actually check out yourself anyway. And so you begin to see that even our daily interactions as well as transactions requires dealing with people. How well you deal with people will determine how successful you are in life. The reality is this: you cannot go far in life without knowing how to deal with people the right way. Now, the truth of the matter is that we did not grow up with a manual that teaches us how to deal with people. Remember this, that people are not always the same. So how you are is not how the cashier is. How you are is not how your professor is. How you are is not necessarily how your spouse is. Believe it or not, even I'm a twin. How I am is not how my twin sister is. So there are differences in us, different personalities, different value system. And so you still have to interact with people with all these differences. Knowing how to do it well will help you go far in life. Many times, people don't go far because there's a breakdown in that interaction. There's a breakdown in that communication. Imagine on the job, you're dealing with a boss that you consider very difficult. That boss is just not like you. Well, if there is a breakdown in that interaction, more than likely, they may fire you. If they don't, they may not promote you. You see, you are up for promotion, but they chose somebody else. Somebody else maybe who knew or knows how to deal with that difficult boss. You, having challenges, dealing with that difficult boss, end up paying for it because you are not given the promotion that you deserve. So when you really look at it, this issue of people is a very important thing, and we need to be skilled in dealing with people. Now, let's go and look at the spiritual aspect, the spiritual side. There's a scripture in the Bible, I believe Hebrews 14:12. It says, follow peace with all men. Then it says holiness, and holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. But look at the first part. It says, follow peace with all men. Wait, are you telling me, or is God telling us, that we should follow peace with all men? Really? Some of the men are really difficult. And when I say men, we are talking about a generic term now. Right? Wait, I know some women, they are so difficult. I know some men, they are so difficult. This professor is so difficult. This co-worker is so difficult. And I'm to follow peace. This church member, fellow church member, is difficult. This member in my church is difficult. I'm supposed to follow peace with all men. So you look at it. God has commanded us to follow peace with all men. And so if you're going to follow peace with all men, you need to understand how to deal with all men. You need to understand how to interact with them, how to still do what you got to do if you're fellow, choir members, how to work together as fellow choir members and sing together and praise God together in spite of your differences. Wow, that can be really tough for many people. There are many people, they have quit many things because they just not get it along. Oh, there are people that have quit churches. They say, I'm not going to that church no more because those members, I just don't get them. I just don't get those people over there. And so they quit the church, they quit the job, believe it or not. There are people who quit jobs. And of course, there are people who have been fired as well. I shared recently that a statistics that was done. It says that for those people that have been fired on the job, 7 out of 10 of them, in other words, 70% of those who have been fired on the job were fired because of personality conflict. I am this way, you are that way, I'm not getting along. We are not seeing eye to eye. So 70% of them, they just say, you know what, get out of here. We're not seeing eye to eye over here. Just get fired. They just fire them. You see what I'm saying? So this thing that we're talking about is really, really, really serious. Do you know that even in Bible, right, it talks about the spouse, that when they come to pray, they need to be in unity. That if they are praying and they are not in unity, that even their prayers will not be answered. Wow. So that what we're talking about is really serious. That even in the context of, a married couple, they need to get it. But guess what? Many people are married and they don't see eye to eye. The personalities are different. They're raised in different places. One is from Mars and the other one is from Venus. Like, how do we make this thing to work and then we'll be together in unity? So you begin to see that what we're talking about is really, really serious. Knowing how to interact with people, knowing how to deal with people is very important. You need people. Somebody may say, you know what, if it's that complicated, I'll just do everything by myself. As a matter of fact, I'll just move to the desert somewhere and it's just going to be me by myself. And so, question, how much can you get done by yourself? I mean, how much are you going to get done by yourself? You need people. Get it. You need people. Admit it. You need people. Understand it. You need people. If you're going to go far in life, you need people. You need people in your life. And so you may say, but there are so much complication, challenges dealing with people. I know that. You need to learn how to walk through all those challenges. You need to learn how to deal with all those various personalities. You need to get the skill set that you need in order to be able to overcome, in order to be able to go far. Because if you're going to go far in life, you need to somehow be able to get people to come along with you. You need to be able to get people to work with you. You need to be able to get people at least to play one part or the other in that process, because you're going to need people to play a part in your success. It takes skills. You need to learn it. We didn't come with it from heaven, but we can learn it here on earth. And that's why I'm doing this seminar, Winning with People. I'm going to show you how to really win with people. You see, in your daily interactions with people, whether it's in the home, whether it's at the office, whether it's in school, whether it's in the church, in business transaction, you need to have a win-win situation going on. But many times, because of our various personalities, we find it difficult to have a win-win going on. But you can learn it. I want to teach you on March 16, 2019, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm going to be teaching you how to win with people. I'm going to teach you the skill set. I'm going to teach you the mindset that you need that will really transform your dealings with people. Believe me, it will cause you to have better relationships with people. And because of it, you'll be able to go far in life. You see, this seminar is available both on-site and online. On-site at the LiveZone TV studios, 189-23 Linden Boulevard in St. Albans, Queens, New York. And online at a website that will be provided to you once you register. You can register for it by going to www.livezonetv.com. Scroll to the bottom, you see a link there that says Winning with People. But let me give you some sneak peek on the things that I'll be sharing with you. I'll be telling you something to the effect of where you start when you want to begin to win with people is yourself. You start with yourself. You need to learn more about yourself. Why? Because who you are determines how you view others. And you know, in your interaction with people, how you see them, how you view them, affects how you respond to them. If you see them in a negative light, you respond to them in a negative light. But wait, before we talk about them, we need to look at us. Because oftentimes we overlook that. You are busy pointing to them, not knowing that the way you are interacting with them is actually a reflection on you, who you are, certain things about yourself. And so we will go and look into you, check you out, help you to check you out, to check yourself and to see like, what is it about me that is affecting the way I'm interacting with other people? Because who you are determines how you view other people. And so I will get more in depth into that. It's really going to be an eye-opener for you. Well, another thing I'm going to show you is that hurting people hurt other people. You see, when you're hurting, you hurt other people. Hurting people hurt other people and are easily hurt by people. You see, when you are hurting, you don't realize it, you begin to hurt other people too. You need some healing so that you don't hurt other people. But then because you're hurting, you're easily hurt by other people. You know, I've shared with us, for those of you who follow me here on Facebook Live, I've shared with us before about the splinter. If you have a splinter in your hands and you shake the hands of someone, even if the person shakes your hand very gently, because of the splinter in your hands, you're going to feel some pain. But somebody without a splinter, when they shake the hands of that other person, they will not feel any pain. Sometimes the so-called pain that you are feeling is because of a splinter in your own soul. You know, if there's nothing there, when they make that comment, you will not feel anything. You know, let me use the word fat, for example. You know, in our culture today, you know, there are people who call themselves fat. They say, I'm fat. And when people say, you are fat, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm fat. I know that. And you are confirming what I am. But do you know, if you have a splinter in your soul, if somebody makes a mistake, you know, of calling you fat, oh my God, all hell can break loose. Because you have a splinter in your soul. Because somehow, this fat, quote unquote, you connect it with yourself and some low self-esteem, and you don't see yourself in a good light, in a good way, and there's a lot going on there. There's a splinter in your soul. So any kind of mention, if somebody ever make a mistake to say fat, oh my God, you are ready to fight them. You are ready to even kill them. I mean, it's just really serious because of the splinter in the soul. But if there's no splinter, you know, you can be heavy set and confident. You can be heavy set and know that what does my weight have to do with who I am and how I see myself. If you see yourself in a very good way, in a very confident way, the weight doesn't necessarily change anything. And so when you lose weight, you're losing weight just to be healthy. You're not losing weight because you don't like yourself. You know what you carry, you know who you are, you know what's in you. But if you don't have all that, it will be quite difficult. And the way you are, because of the splinter in your soul, affect how you respond and react to things. You know, sometimes people may call you a name, and you know, I mean, you know yourself better. You know that that's not you. You know you are better than that, and it doesn't affect you. But if you already feel like that's you, if you already are being affected in your soul, and somebody calls you that name, it triggers all kinds of stuff. Well, you know, in our daily interactions with people on the road, in our daily interaction with people on the job, in school, anywhere you find yourself, all these things comes to play. Sometimes you are able to handle things because you are good. You are good on the inside. Sometimes you're not able to handle some things. And the funny thing is that what you can't handle, your fellow co-worker can handle it. How come? It doesn't bother them. How come it's bothering you? Well, there is a splinter in your own soul. You need to be healed of that. So sometimes you find yourself trying to blame other people, not realizing that, wait, there's something about me that needs to be fixed. You know, I will also give you teachings in areas of handling conflict. You know, some people, they handle conflict in the wrong way. One of the wrong ways to handle a conflict is when you think you must win it at all costs. That's a wrong way of handling conflict. You know, there are some people like that. They think they must win at all costs. Oh, they love to argue. They believe they are the best lawyers in town. And so if there's a disagreement, instead of understanding there is a win-win, no, they don't want a win-win. They want to win it at all costs. And of course, it never gets anywhere. It never builds good relationships. And so on the job, they're trying to win at all costs. It's not working out. They may not even know it's not working out, but everybody else knows it's not working out. Eventually, they're going to be fired because they want to win it at all costs. In the home, they want to win it at all costs. You see, it's the wrong way to handle conflict. And then there are those who think, let me just pretend there's no conflict here. Let me just pretend. And so instead of confronting the conflict, instead of addressing it the proper way, no, it's not there. There's no conflict. You know, they want to pretend like it's not there. Well, it's the wrong way to handle conflict. You know, I'll also be teaching and touching on this subject about when Susie has a problem with everybody, then Susie is really the problem. When Susie has a problem with everybody, Susie is the problem. Are you that kind of a person? You have a problem with everybody. You know, I'll never forget, as a pastor, a lady that came to my congregation one time, and she talked about the various churches she's been to. And she talked about how, you know, this pastor, you know, she knew this pastor, she was close to this pastor, and this pastor is bad. And then the next one, talk about bad, 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 about every pastor she has ever met. And I said to myself, I just don't want to see you again. I didn't say it to her, but I knew, oh my God, you have nothing good to say about anybody. You are the problem. If you're watching me right now, and maybe you are like that, you think everybody around you, they are all bad, and you are the good one. You are the bad one. You are the one with the problem. You need help. It's one of the things that I'll be showing you, so that if you fit into that category, then you can get the necessary help that you need, so that your relationships with people can be better. No. Everybody cannot be so bad that only you are good. Something is wrong with the picture. You need to fix something about you, so that your relationships with people can be better. Oh, one last thing I just want to mention, and these are just some ideas, just a little bit of what I'll be dealing with on March 16th, and you can register for it right now. Never let the situation mean more than the relationship. Never let the situation mean more than the relationship. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you're confronting an issue, and sometimes people will just carry on and continue dealing with this situation or talking about this situation, and to the point where it's like they will let the relationship dissolve. They will choose the situation over the relationship. And I'm saying to you, if you're going to win with people, you have to understand that you cannot allow the situation to mean more than the relationship. The relationship should always mean more. The relationship should always mean more than the situation. Never let the situation mean more than the relationship. Oh, there's quite a lot that will be dealt with. There are people are classified, according to those who have done the research, the experts. They've divided everybody into 4 different personalities. And so when you're dealing with someone, you need to know your own personality, and then you need to know their own personality. And so I'll be touching on that, so that you begin to understand personalities, where you fit, and where people in your life fit. Now, every personality have a different way of thinking. They have a different way of doing things. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I meet people and they'll say things like, well, I expect them this, and that. I expect them to do this. I expect them to be like this. And I'm like, that's not their personality. That's not who they are. If you expect from now till 100 years, you are wasting your time, because they don't think that way. So you have to understand personalities. And so when you begin to understand personalities, I need to study this personality, study how they with them accordingly, and I can have a peaceful relationship with them. So I'll be teaching you on how to work with people, whether on the job, in the school, in the home, how to work with people with various personalities. Oh, if you're a leader, you need to know this, because many leaders, unfortunately, have hurt people. They have hurt people because they don't know how to deal with various personalities. And so they deal with people the way they would deal with themselves. Do you realize that if you deal with everybody the same way, listen to me very carefully, if you deal with everybody the same way, you will only succeed with 25% of people, because everybody is different and broken into 4 different personalities. So the same way of dealing with everybody is only addressing 25% of the population the right way. So you'll be leaving 75% of the population behind. Whoever you're dealing with, you'll be losing 75% of people, because you are only dealing with everybody the same way. No, you cannot deal with everybody the same way, because everybody is different. So you need to understand personalities to deal with people. The way you deal with Mr. A is not necessarily how you deal with Mr. B, because what appeals to Mr. A is not what appeals to Mr. B. You have to understand that. Also, you need to learn how to resolve conflict. If you're in leadership, you need to learn how to develop influence the right way. Especially for you as a leader, there's a level of leadership where the very first level, the very basic level, is that level where people have no choice but to follow you. But you can rise above that, beyond that. You can rise to a place where They don't have to follow you, but they want to follow you. Wow. They don't have to, but they want to. That's another level of leadership. How do you develop influence the right way? You know, those are some of the things that we're talking about, how to connect with people. And then if you are working with a team, it could be in church, you have a praise and worship team, maybe you are a head of department in church or on your job. How do I deal with my team members in such a way that we all work together, you know, in peace and in unity, in harmony, and able to get the job done? These are skill set that you have to learn. We don't come with it, we learn it. And as you learn it, it will help your life. It will make the difference in all your daily interaction. Whether you are going to the supermarket, you are driving on the road or taking the train, you are dealing with the professors in school, you are dealing with, you know, a spouse or children at home, you're dealing with some professional, whether it's the medical doctor or dentist, all of that in your daily interactions. What I'll be teaching you will help you. Winning with People seminar, March 16, 2019, from 9:30 a.m. We start out with a breakfast, and then we go into the seminar at 10 o'clock. It's going to be a very explosive one. It's really going to help you a lot in your life. You know, there are many Christians who, they are Christians, but they stink when it comes to their interactions with people. Oh, believe it or not, there are some pastors, right? They are pastors. Can you imagine? They are pastors, but when it comes to dealing with people, they are really bad. They are really bad. People don't like them. They just don't have any choice, right? Or maybe they feel like they're stuck, or maybe they feel like God called them into that ministry and so they can't go nowhere. But they don't like that pastor because the pastor don't know how to really deal with people. The pastor is rude. The pastor is just don't know how to deal with people. He's hurting people, or she's hurting people left and right, and they just stuck there. Wow. So what we're talking about, even for those who are in leadership and even in the house of God, is a very important quality. If you're in leadership, under the sound of my voice, get your leaders and bring them to winning with people, because this will help them. It will help them in their interaction with people. It will help them to be able to lead that department, to be able to deal with fellow members in the church in a peaceful way. And if you are a supervisor on the job, this will help you. So March 16, 2019, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., very important seminar, Winning with People. It's available both on site, it's available online. Wherever you are around America, you can be a part of this, and you can sign up. Go to the website, www.lifezonetv.com. If you're watching me on Facebook Live, click on that link that you see right here, and you'll be able to actually register. Register right now for Winning with People seminar, taking place this Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, for those of you who are not local in New York City, you can watch it online. Once you register, a link will be sent to you, and you'll be able to watch it online. Thank you for watching this. Please share this broadcast with somebody. I'm sure it will be a lesson to them. Thank you for watching. You take care.